Greetings. I am Niccolò Machiavelli. Today we confront my most infamous counsel, that a prince, when leading men into battle, must understand that a reputation for cruelty is often essential to preserve unity, obedience, and discipline. Step closer and learn why love alone cannot secure lasting power. The game is older than any of us, but the rules have not changed. You know, for 5 centuries, people, leaders, thinkers, anyone who's ever wondered about power, they've all grappled with my little book, The Prince. It's really a handbook on how to get power, how to keep it, and what human nature is really like. And it all forces you to ask one very, very uncomfortable question. So let's just get right to it. Is it better to be loved, or is it better to be feared? It's the big one, right? The ultimate leadership dilemma. Look, we all want to be liked, to be admired. But I have to ask a tougher question. When everything's on the line, when the stability of your entire state is at risk, is being loved really the best tool you've got? You have to understand, I wasn't writing this in some peaceful, stable time. The Italy I saw was, well, it was a mess. A total chaos of backstabbing princes, shifting alliances, and constant invasions. My world had absolutely no room for idealism. It demanded pragmatism. And the cold, hard answer in my book, it was born from that brutal reality. So let's dig into this pragmatism, starting with the number one problem any new leader faces. You get into power and you want to do good things, right? You want to be seen as a virtuous, upstanding person. The problem is, the world isn't a virtuous place, and that, for a ruler, creates a very dangerous paradox. And here's the hard truth, straight from my book. If you're a ruler who insists on playing the good guy in every single situation, you are going to get crushed by all the people who aren't. It's inevitable. To survive, you have to understand that sometimes being traditionally virtuous can be a fatal mistake. And that leads us to the absolute foundation of my philosophy. You cannot base your actions on some fantasy world where all your citizens are perfect angels. No, you have to operate based on the truth of how people actually are, warts and all, not how you wish they were. And this slide lays out the core conflict perfectly. On one side, you have all the qualities everyone praises, being merciful, faithful, humane, but on the other side, you have the cold, hard result. The simple truth is that a leader who blindly follows what ought to be instead of reacting to what is basically just setting themselves up for ruin. Now, this is the part people always get wrong. This isn't about being evil just for the fun of it, not at all. It's about pragmatism. It's about having the flexibility to act against conventional morality when, and only when, necessity demands it to protect the state. Doing wrong becomes a tool in your toolbox, one you use carefully and only when you absolutely have to. All right, so keeping that harsh reality in mind, we can finally tackle the main event. How should a leader really think about this choice between being loved and being feared? I mean, in a perfect world, of course you'd want both. Who wouldn't want to be adored by their people and respected by their enemies? That's the dream. It's the goal every single leader starts with. But, and it's a very big but, those ideals rarely survive contact with the real world. Since it's nearly impossible to have both, you have to choose. And when the security of the state is at stake, my conclusion is crystal clear. It is much, much safer to be feared. I know, that sounds harsh, but for me, this isn't about cruelty. It's a cold calculation based on my, let's say, cynical view of human nature. So let's break it down. Why exactly is fear a more reliable tool for a ruler than love? The problem with love is that it depends entirely on the goodwill of other people. And let's be honest, people are generally ungrateful, fickle, and always looking out for themselves first. Love is a bond, a link of obligation that they will snap in a heartbeat if it's convenient for them. Fear, well, that's a different story. Just look at this table. It really lays it all out. The bond of love is based on obligation, and it's unreliable. It can be broken easily. But the bond of fear? That's based on a dread of punishment, and that dread never, ever fails. A smart leader relies on what they can control, not what other people might feel like giving them. And fear? Well, fear is something you can control. Okay, now listen closely, because this is probably the most critical point in this whole discussion, and it's the part that everybody seems to forget. I advise a leader to be feared, yes, but I absolutely warn them, do not allow yourself to be hated. There is a huge, vital difference between the two. You see, fear keeps people in line. It maintains order. It's a tool for stability. Hatred is something else entirely. It's an active, burning emotion. It fuels resentment and inspires people to plot against you in the shadows. One keeps you in power. The other is a poison that will almost certainly be your downfall. So how do you walk this tightrope? The rules are actually surprisingly simple. Rule number 1, above all else, do not take your subjects' property. Rule number 2, do not touch their women. These are the things that create true, lasting hatred. And if you have to execute someone, make absolutely sure there's a clear and justifiable reason for it. And this idea is really captured in one of my most famous and, I'll admit, most cynical observations. People's attachment to their property, their inheritance, is just profound. If you take that away from them, you earn a hatred that will never ever fade. And that is the fastest way to inspire a rebellion that will bring you down. So that leaves us and you with a big question about legacy. In a world that is still, let's face it, far from perfect, is this cold pragmatism a necessary guide for any effective leader? Or is it just a dangerous excuse for tyranny? Maybe the real answer depends on whether a leader can truly tell the difference between what is necessary and what is just plain cruel. Remember this lesson well. In episode 5, we sharpen the blade, why a prince must master the art of war. Arrivederci.
This has been another dispatch from the Dead Expert Society. The dead have spoken, but what say the living? Let us know below.